Yeah, so we had very surprised out of nowhere, and like I guess launch of YouTube channels from the Kirby and Smash Bros. Creator Masahiro Sakurai, and spoiler alert, it's amazing so far. So the channel is called Masahiro Sakurai on Creating Games. And within 4 days or so, it's already amassed over 300,000 subscribers, which is not surprising. He's a very well-known name, especially in the Smash Bros. Community, of course. And if anyone doesn't know, Sakurai was a director of the original Kirby games, as well as headed up every single Smash Bros. Game to date. But he doesn't technically work for Nintendo. I don't think he's ever technically worked for Nintendo. Well, I was looking. I could be wrong, but basically, he started or HAL Laboratory, and he worked at Q Entertainment for a while, and he worked on Meteos and things like that, and now runs his own company, Sora Limited. So I couldn't see. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you might be right.
If he was ever officially like an employee of Nintendo, but obviously he's always closely linked to Nintendo for the games that he makes.
And can I quickly add, I know you're going to touch on it a little bit, but he has two channels. They're both like the same content, but one's in English and one's in Japanese, but they're completely separate channels that produce send the videos out. So he's got 345,000 on one and 289,000 on the other. So he's got 634,000 subscribers in like 4 days.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
It's insane. It's so cool.
The channel's videos, you can see some of it if you're watching on YouTube at the moment. But they're so far focused on different elements of game design. So the two that I've watched so far, that he's put out a bunch of videos pretty quickly. He's prepared a whole lot of stuff. So one on the game design elements like hit stop and frame rates, and he's also said he's going to be chronologically talking about each of the games that he worked on, starting with the very first Kirby's Dream Land. So it's just, and these are short videos, maybe like 4 or 5 minutes, and the way they're presented, like Sakurai's always had a real good knack for explaining technical things in a very entertaining and easy way throughout the Smash Bros. Presentations he'd done. But that's very much focused just on the Smash Bros. Series, whereas now we're getting to hear him talk about all this cool stuff. And I love hearing about, the way that games are made and why they're made that way. And the first video on Kirby is just so cool.
Yeah, and honestly, straight away in the first actual video, because he's releasing these little bite-sized videos that are like about 5 minutes max each, and just stop for the big moments or do this or that. And it's like stuff that intuitively, but it's interesting to hear a really genius creator how deliberate they are with thinking about these things and why, and almost the naming of all the mechanisms that they do. It's super wholesome shit, man, like what he's doing. And I don't think we've called it out so far, but he's explicitly said he's not monetizing the channel at all. He's like not turning on ads. He's not ever going to put, any sponsors in the videos or anything like that. And he's actually just out of his pocket to pay for the editors and all that stuff. Like, it's super wholesome, man.
You say that and give it 3 months and he'll be advertising his OnlyFans. So.
No, I just don't want to say, my next game is a blockchain game. It's like,
oh, no.
It's like,
don't even say that.
Can he go villain mode like Cyberpunk 2077 or something like that? But the other thing is, he did say his next game is like TBD or something like that, which I was like, oh, that's like a nice little throw there.
Yeah, I think I never got a chance to play Kid Icarus Uprising. I think he could have another shot if he wanted to go back to that franchise. Because I don't think he'll be working on Kirby. Obviously, Kirby in the Forgotten Land was a smash success, and that series is now, it's no longer, he's no longer involved with that, from my knowledge. But yeah, obviously it could be something. Maybe he just wants to do something brand new, kind of like what he did with Q Entertainment with Meteos. Because if you remember Meteos, that was just like out of nowhere, kind of just such a cool little concept on the DS. So
yeah, it'd be cool if he also works with someone else. Like, I'd love if he did a collab with someone in the industry that you just wouldn't expect. I feel like he's the kind of guy that would collaborate really, really well and would like really enjoy that content. I would love if he steps away from the Smash franchise and does a few different things re-energizes. So then he feels like, oh yeah, I'll do another Smash game. Because it would be like a sad day when he finally retires from that franchise. Because, you know,
Right.
the joke is like every single game, it's like his last. Like,
right. How about this? Listen to this.
yeah.
Sakurai announces he's working with Sony. PlayStation All Stars 2, baby. He's bringing that to life. Imagine.
He's so Japanese, he would never do that.
Not that would ever happen, but imagine if that happened. That would be, you just want stuff to happen just to see people's reactions.
That would honestly be so unbelievable. It would it might be the most unbelievable news story we've covered in the last 2 years, just because of the people involved, and like, there's no bad blood with him and Nintendo. He even said that he's running all the videos through Nintendo, like, just to make sure they're comfortable with it. The other thing that I thought was really interesting, like, I'd fully recommend people subscribe to this if they like gaming, is that he was actually saying, I'm using footage from games and I haven't always asked for permission. And like, if people, don't want me to use it, then we'll figure out what I do. But he's like, it's just so much better to use the actual footage. And then I think about like Nintendo's stance in the last 10 years, which it's in their right. It's in their legal right to say, don't use the footage. It's not, it's their content, right? But it's so funny just to hear a guy who's relatively like important in the world of Nintendo. I'm not saying he works for them, but from a sphere of influence, he's more important than most senior people there. That he's just like, fuck it. Like, I want to put videos because it makes more sense. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So we're following the Sakurai rule. You know what would be hilarious? If he takes down
the Sakurai rule.
It'd be funny because he'll get a flag on his channel saying someone's used your content, right? It would be funny if he actually tried to take our thing down.
Oh, God.
Which he wouldn't. It's too wholesome. He doesn't care. So, no, check their channel out. It's really cool. It's going to be... I'm super interested to see some of the behind-the-scenes Smash stuff, because he's already said he's going to cover some of the things in Smash, like in the development and why they went one way or the other. So it's... I would love if he leans into like, like really diabolical topics that, people have been asking around for a long time.
He needs to do a video on the trip mechanic in Smash Brawl. He needs to he needs to cover why he implemented that horrible thing.
Or just like, I just want to hear him talk about Melee, or, just his reflection on the current community, because he rarely says anything about that stuff, because Nintendo don't want to promote it, right? So... yeah, stuff like that is super fascinating. Super, super fascinating. So I'd definitely check out Masahiro Sakurai on creating games. It's not quite so catchy, but and he doesn't have a short URL for us to send it to either. I don't think it will ever change. But
just type in Sakurai YouTube and you'll find it.
Yeah. He's stolen the name of our shows. Imagine that. Imagine if he released something who's big week in gaming on it. It's like, damn you, Sakurai. All right, let's jump into the final news story.